Greetings, kindred spirits. I'm sure you're all feeling that build up of the energy towards the lunar eclipse. But anyway, I want to say a special thank you to my friend Kay. She's actually one of my old school friends, and she sent me 2 beautiful images of the moon that have been taken by a telescope. So yeah, please enjoy. So the full moon will reach its peak in Ophiuchus in the true lifetime sky on the 5th of June 2020 at 2012 in the GMT time zone, at 1512 in the EDT time zone, and on the 6th of June at 512 in the AEDT time zone. And the lunar eclipse itself will begin at 21:01 in the GMT time zone and lasts for about 1 hour 2 minutes. And the lunar eclipse will be seen all through the central zone of the world, and will be seen by both the northern and southern hemispheres. So it's a central zone running vertical. I couldn't think of the word then. So our sun will be at 22 degrees in Taurus conjunct Venus, and both will be in opposition to our full moon lunar eclipse. And all 3 will be in square to Mars, Neptune, and the goddess Ceres, who are all in Aquarius. And this is actually forming a triple T-square grand aspect. You know, the energies created by this grand aspect will be very transformative at a deep soul level. The moon herself will be at 7 degrees in Ophiuchus, and this is a very special placement that emits like a powerful divine feminine energy. And this energy takes us down into the depths of the self, to our own soul. When a lunar eclipse occurs in the sign of Ophiuchus, it usually goes much deeper than it would in any other star sign, since Ophiuchus represents all things metaphysical and mystical. And I have up to this point referred to Ophiuchus as a her. But to be honest, you know, and through my research over the last year, you know, there is actually a double, where there's a triple divine feminine aspect to this sign. But the main player here is actually a male, but with the balance of the feminine and the masculine. So really a divine masculine who represents Christ himself. So this lunar eclipse in Ophiuchus will be, like I said, taking many of us down into the realms of the self. And that triggers the 3rd house of Taurus, who is the opposite sign to Ophiuchus. So overall, Taurus represents the inner child and environmental influences. So for many, this is a going down into the shadow self to overcome self-limitation that has been created through the more negative traits of Taurus, such as attachment issues or materialism or self-indulgence, just to name a few. And Ophiuchus himself has quite a shadow too. You know, the Black Moon Lilith plays a big part of the trinity that this star sign holds. And the Black Moon Lilith has just recently moved into the sign of Aries, although she will continue to pop in and out of the sign of Pisces too. So her energy is quite erratic. You know, she's backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. So she will be flitting between Aries and Pisces for some time. So in Aries, she brings up issues around self-worth, and in conjunction to Uranus, who's been transiting Aries for the last year or so, strongly suggests that we stay in the present moment and work on inner peace. because I feel we are going to need to work on that. You know, the restless energy that has been occurring for a few weeks now, since Jupiter went into retrograde, will be amplified under the Black Moon Lilith and Uranus's conjunction. So we must trust that the universe will guide us to where we need to be. You know, all we have to do is listen and trust our own intuition, our own inner guidance. The Sun at 22 degrees conjunct Venus retrograde at 18 degrees in Taurus is an added emphasis of this moon's energy, helping us to release what no longer serves our highest and best, especially when it comes to high expectations and over-idealization. You know, and as comfortable as this may be, it is all about self-realization to assist the rebirth process, which will occur probably later on in the year. We have 4 planets retrograding within their own sign at present. Mercury went into shadow on the 2nd of June. But, you know, as I've said on many occasions, the shadow can often be more potent than the retrograde itself. So the number 4 is the number of the Sun in its formative energy rather than creative. So alongside the Sun at 22 degrees, which is a number that is influenced by Mother Earth herself, also signifies that we must transcend the ego to reach a high level of consciousness through our life's lessons and experiences, both past and present. This process will actually be in effect up until the solar eclipse in Gemini on the 21st of June, which is the day after the summer solstice, which will be about consciously facing whatever has been revealed to us, you know, at the time of the lunar eclipse. The North Node will be in quincunx to both Saturn and the goddess Pallas. Saturn will be at 1 degree in Capricorn in retrograde, and the goddess Pallas will be at 0 degrees in Capricorn. So she'll be in the womb. You know, this again shows that going back to the self and deep down into the shadow will be quite an eye-opener. And, you know, we will be able to get a realistic point of view from that eye-opening experience. You know, Saturn has no problem taking things apart, brick by brick, to recreate a new structure. So again, this is going down into the self to understand our true purpose, both personally and collectively. And he will give us the time needed to do this, although time may not necessarily be on our side when it comes to our obligations and routines. So, you know, we must watch out for scattering our energy at this time. Definitely when it comes to our energy levels. And the goddess Vesta of the sacred fire will also be at 0 degrees in Gemini, which shows that networking and communications will be a pretty big energy too, especially since the goddess Vesta will be in conjunction to the North Node, who is currently at 35 degrees in Taurus, and that's just over the border. So collectively there is a birthing of new knowledge, you know, maybe even new technology or new media attention. Although I strongly do warn against investing in any technological, mechanical or electric products. You know, Mercury is already in shadow at this point, and in Gemini those particular products are the highest on the list to fail in some way. But on a personal level, it could be a realization of our soul's purpose, and that being as authentic as possible in that process will lead to great results. So Mercury will start his retrograde mode on the 18th of June around 6 AM in the GMT time zone at 14 degrees in Gemini. And this can also be a very scattered energy. And as Mercury starts his retrograde, he will be in opposition to Pluto and in trine to Mars and the goddess Ceres. So Mars and Pluto are very powerful and masculine energies, although Mars will be at 2 degrees in Pisces, which weakens his strength and his endurance. So in that respect, I see that although still quite forceful, these aspects put a lot of focus on hidden truths, especially around the home front, since Mercury rules the 4th house in the true lifetime sky and is also the house of Gemini. So on one hand it can be a very upfront, in-your-face energy, and on the other it can be very revealing, where, major realizations come to light. There will also be 2 T-square aspects. One is aimed towards Mercury himself, with Chiron and the Black Moon Lilith in opposition to Juno, the goddess of domestic harmony. And as I said, all in square to Mercury retrograde, which shows that we may hear of many relationship breakups or breakdowns throughout the Mercury retrograde, some to go separate ways and some to be remade. And we are also coming to a time where the soul wants union with like-minded people. And this is an energy that has been escalating since 2018. And if we are not yet with our sacred partner or our soul family, due to a karmic partner or a karmic pattern that we need to break, then this is the year where the energies are urging us to release these particular relationships or patterns. And the second T-square is an opposition between the nodes and the Sun, all in square to Mars. And around this time of Mercury going into retrograde, leading up to the solar eclipse in Gemini, the shifts that we've been going through so far will start to make sense. And if we do use this energy wisely, because it is a very restless and scattered energy, we can come into a time of great enlightenment in realizing and coming to terms with our soul's purpose, or who we should be with or not with when it comes to our intimate relationships and even social groups. So I would say if we are feeling depleted at that time, then we are definitely on the wrong track, which means that we need to slow down and not be so impulsive or impatient. This is a very karmic energy, and this is also a time where the universe bestows blessings or lessons. So overall, I feel that a lot of patience will be needed throughout the coming months. And I feel it's important that we give ourselves a time to reflect on whatever surfaces throughout the lunar eclipse. Because in the long run, right up until December, we have got 3 major conjunctions still yet to take place, as well as another eclipse in Ophiuchus on the 14th of December. Only this one will be a solar eclipse, which signifies the true rebirth of the soul. So we've got up until that point to really, remake ourselves, or the parts of us that need to be remade. Or, not necessarily within ourselves, it can be within our environment as well. So, all this reflection may be to do with another person, but we are a witness to that. So I do definitely feel that the solar eclipse in Gemini on the 21st of June is all about enlightenment. And enlightenment is normally reached before the rebirth process begins. So I feel there will be many Kundalini activations kicking off in December, leading up to the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. And I think that takes place on the 21st of December. And yeah, it's one hell of a year. Stay in peace. Much love.